Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into one of the most action-packed chapters in the Gospels, Luke chapter 9. And really, this whole story is built around one single powerful question. It's a question that starts in a king's palace and by the end lands right at our own feet. So yeah, let's get into it.
See, everything in this chapter hangs on this one question. You've got this powerful ruler, Herod, who's hearing about all the incredible things Jesus is doing, and he is just baffled. The crowds, they're buzzing. They've got all these theories flying around. Everybody wants to know, who is this guy? And that question is what's going to drive our whole journey today.
So the chapter kicks off with Jesus doing something pretty amazing. He's not just teaching his disciples anymore, he's activating them. He calls the 12 together, gives them a mission, and, this is the crucial part, he doesn't just send them out with a to-do list. No, he gives them the actual tools they need to get it done.
He gives them two very specific things: authority and power. And they're not the same thing. Think of it like this. Authority is the badge. It's the right to act in Jesus' name. But power? Well, the Greek word is dunamis. It's where we get our word dynamite. That's the spiritual muscle, the ability to actually make things happen. So you have the right and you have the might.
So while the disciples are out there using this new authority and power, word gets around, and it travels all the way up to Herod, the guy who had John the Baptist executed. And he is just completely thrown. He's thinking, well, I beheaded John, so who is this guy I'm hearing all these things about? That central question just keeps popping up.
And then the scene just completely shifts. Jesus and the guys are trying to get away and have a break, but this huge crowd follows them. And we're not talking a small gathering. The Bible says 5,000 men. That's not even counting the women and children. So they're out in the middle of nowhere, it's getting late, and everybody's hungry. For the disciples, this is a logistics nightmare. It looks impossible.
But where the disciples see a problem, Jesus sees a chance to show them who God is. He takes what little they have, just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and performs this incredible miracle. And the point isn't just that he provided enough. No, he demonstrates total overflowing abundance. Everybody ate until they were stuffed, and there were 12 full baskets of leftovers. 12!
Now, right after this unbelievable display of power, Jesus pulls his disciples aside. And you'd think he'd want to debrief the miracle, right? But no, he's focused on something totally different. He asks them, so, what's the word on the street? What are people saying about me?
And the disciples report back what they've heard. The popular theories. People are trying to fit Jesus into a box they can wrap their heads around. Oh, he must be John the Baptist back from the dead. Or maybe he's the great prophet Elijah. They're good guesses, for sure. They recognize he's someone special, but they're all missing the real truth.
Then Jesus cuts right through all the public opinion and makes it personal. He looks right at them and asks, okay, forget about them for a second. What about you? Who do you say that I am? And this, right here, is the most important question in the whole chapter.
And Peter, wow, through a moment of divine revelation, he just nails it. He gives the one answer that changes absolutely everything. He says, the Christ of God. Not just a prophet, not just a good teacher. He is the Messiah, the anointed one, the one they'd been waiting for. This is the big reveal.
But just as they're processing this incredible high point, Jesus drops a bombshell. He immediately tells them what being the Christ of God actually means. And it's not what they were expecting. It doesn't mean marching into Jerusalem and taking over. It means suffering. It means being rejected. It means being killed. And then being raised on the 3rd day.
And that's the pivot point. If Peter is right, if Jesus really is the Christ, then everything has to change. You can't just nod along with that fact. It has huge, life-altering implications. It's not a casual choice. It's a radical call to live in a completely new way.
So Jesus lays it out for them step by step. He says this is what it costs to follow me. Number 1, deny yourself. Say no to your own plans and ambitions. 2, take up your cross daily. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily choice to die to your own will so you can live for His. And 3, follow me. It's a path of total surrender.
And then he hits them with this wild paradox. He says, if you spend your life trying to save it, protecting your reputation, building your own little kingdom, you're actually going to lose everything that matters. But if you're willing to lose your life for my sake, to surrender it all to me, that's when you find real, true, lasting life. Now, knowing this path is going to be tough, Jesus does something amazing. He gives his inner circle, Peter, James, and John a little sneak peek to strengthen their faith. He takes them up on a mountain, and for just a moment, the curtain gets pulled back, and they see him in his true, divine glory. And just in case they were still wondering, the ultimate confirmation comes straight from heaven. A voice from a cloud, the voice of God the Father, booms out saying, "This is my beloved Son," and then gives the most important command of all. Hear him. Listen to him. He has the final word.
And you'd think after all that, they'd get it, right? But it's amazing how human they are. Right after coming down the mountain, they start arguing about which one of them is the greatest. So Jesus has to stop and completely flip their definition of greatness on its head. In the world, it's all about position and power. But Jesus says in his kingdom, true greatness is found in humility, in serving, and in valuing the people the world considers the least.
As the chapter wraps up, Jesus is heading straight for Jerusalem and the cross. He meets a few people who say they want to follow him, but they have excuses, and his response is intense. He gives them this picture of a farmer plowing a field. To follow him, you need that same kind of focus. You can't have one hand on the plow and be looking over your shoulder at what you left behind. It is all or nothing.
So we've come full circle. That question that started in Herod's court, who is this, has traveled through the confused crowds, it's been debated by the disciples, and now, after all that, it lands right here with us. It becomes deeply, deeply personal.
Because throughout this chapter, you've heard the evidence of his power. You've caught a glimpse of his glory, and you've heard very clearly what it costs to follow him. So there's really only one thing left to deal with, and it's the exact same question Jesus asked Peter all that time ago. Because your answer to that question, well, it changes absolutely everything.
Hey, to make sure all this really sinks in, go ahead and use the flashcards to review the key ideas and then give the quiz a shot. Passing it will mark this lesson as complete. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.